What, bud? There's a problem, you fucking idiot.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, I think the plan is to relocate the STI. If you guys saw it in yesterday's video, the one I'm uploading currently right now, we had our boy Devin come over to see if a fresh set of eyes would point something out that I did not notice, and we spent hours and hours trying to get this thing started, and everything seemed to check out, and we just kept trying to start it. We thought it was a low voltage issue. Anyway, you guys can go watch that video to see exactly what happened, but Devin has so graciously offered to let us bring the STI over to his shop. Reason for that is my shop is so freezing cold. I've tried to express that in videos prior, but it is absolutely miserable working in there. It is freezing. After like 10 minutes, your hands are just completely numb, and it makes it very difficult to work on a car in such a cold environment. So Devin has offered for us to bring the STI over to his shop, let it warm up probably overnight, and then go there. And now that we know the issue, we need to pull the timing apart, take off that cam gear, and just verify that is what the issue is. And then from there, put it back together and should theoretically be able to get our first startup. But as you guys know, in the area I live, in Spokane, Washington, we have gotten quite a bit of snow over the last few weeks. And of course it snowed again last night. So the entrance to my shop is just covered in snow. It's well over a foot deep, and you guys saw in my video yesterday, my truck even got stuck trying to jump the STI. So unfortunately, that all needs to be shoveled out and cleared, especially the entrance with the gate. My truck barely fit through. So backing in a trailer in there, I don't think it's going to work with that narrow entrance. But the unfortunate thing about it is there's about like a foot of powder, and then under that there's just like a foot of just straight ice that has compacted over the last few weeks. And I don't really feel like spending hours and hours outside shoveling and freezing my ass off. So I did message a company to see if they can come plow this today, because that would make my life a million times easier. And they can get all of that done in a way quicker time span than I would be able to with just a little crappy shovel. So that's the only thing I'm waiting on this morning. It's currently like 7 in the morning right now. Just messaged the companies. I'm hoping that they can get to it today. Messaged quite a few. So if one doesn't, hopefully the other can. And then once that gets plowed up, we'll go grab a trailer, load the STI up, and bring it over to Devin's shop. If you guys can see, he was only able to clear a little bit, but all of the snow by the shop, he was not able to clear with his truck with his plow on it. The snow is too hard. It's all ice there, and it's like 2 feet deep. So I've been out there trying to shovel it out, and I can only last like 30 minutes maybe before freezing my absolute ass off. Well, it is now way later in the night. Was not able to get the STI out. Was not able to find a trailer. So unfortunately, I'm not able to move the STI tonight. But in the back of my head, I kept thinking that I did not see how the misplaced cam gear was stopping the car from starting. If I'm able to, I'll throw up a clip of what it sounds like with a misplaced on cam gear. I had this issue the first time I ever put together a Subaru motor. I did not put the cam gear on properly, and it caused it to be off time, but it still started with no issue. That's why I'm confused why it is not starting now. It does not make sense. Even if timing was completely off, it would still start. I mean, obviously there's a certain degree where it wouldn't start, but having a cam gear clocked 5 degrees is not going to cause it to not start. So I wasn't really able to record a video for you guys, but in the back of my head, I needed to go through all the footage of putting this car together from my most recent video, and I backtracked all the way to the start to try to find where I messed up. And it's safe to say I know the root cause of why this car is not starting. It's not a sensor issue, it's not a cam gear that is misplaced, it's not a timing issue. So that only leaves a few things which would cause this to not start. I almost wasn't even going to record any of this. I was going to fix all of this off camera because how embarrassed I am of what I did. But then I thought, I'm doing YouTube now and I gotta experience even my mistakes with you guys, no matter how bad they are. And after a few hours of going through all my footage, I found the issue. Here we go. We are on my first video assembling the Subaru motor. Before I show you guys this, keep the negative comments away. I'm well aware how stupid I am for making this mistake. Words don't describe how stupid I feel right now, but with that being said, here's what the issue is. As you guys can see here, I am torquing down the cam caps, getting it all sealed up. As you guys might not be able to tell, up here is your intake, and here is your exhaust side. As you guys can see, if you guys put together motors, you guys know that you obviously have your intake cam and your exhaust cam. Exhaust cam is shorter, intake cam is longer. Very easy, very hard to fuck up. But if you guys look at this video, or this photo again, you guys can see, again, here's the exhaust side, here's the intake side. Can you guys spot what the issue is? It is clear as day for me, but if someone hasn't worked on Subarus maybe a whole lot, it might be hard to see. But I have the intake cam on the exhaust and the exhaust cam on the intake. One, I don't even know how the intake cam fit on the exhaust. You guys can see how close it is onto the actual head itself. And you guys can see how much space is left on the intake side. So that is why my car is not starting. The main reason is, if you guys know, you have your P0340, this intake cam sensor, circuit sensor, whatever the exact code is. The sensor sits right here, which would normally read right here on the intake cam. Obviously, you guys can kind of see that black shadow. That is the sensor. Obviously, the sensor is not reading. It doesn't have any cam to read. So that is why it's not starting. Well, one, the cams are swapped, but also there is no physical reading of the cam being there. I've never seen this issue ever happen before. No one's dumb enough to do this. But I don't know if it messed up the cams, if the heads are fucked. I have no idea. I am just praying that all I have to do is switch the cams over, retime it, assemble the motor back together, drop it in. I'm hoping that is all. But I've never seen this issue before. So yeah, I don't know. I feel so stupid, but I finally got the answer of why this hasn't started. I realistically probably should have gone through the footage a long time ago to see what happened, but it's a lot of footage from all of these videos to backtrack. It took me hours to get to this point, when this is probably the point I should have started at. But yeah, unfortunately, today is not working on the car, but at least today we know 100% the reason why this car is not starting.
Can I call you a dumb fuck now?
Yeah.
Did you find the problem?
Yeah. Here, let me show you.
Did you find it like in a video? Oh my god. How does it even work? Do you see what the problem is? He put the cams in upside down. So the one that reads the fucking cam sensor is not on the top, it's on the bottom, because he had to fucking assemble his head backwards, you fucking idiot. You should have turned the motor to where it was facing you instead of watching you do this.
I know. And you know what the worst part is? I get home and I'm talking to Bo. I'm like, you know when you have like that gut feeling, you know you fuck something up? Like it's like, you know, like deep, like you know you fucked something up. I was like, huh?
Because you've done it 30 times on this car.
So I'm like, Bo, I deadass think I put my cam gears in, like my camshafts in backwards. And then, like, I told him that, like, as soon as I got home. And then we're like, there's no way it fit. Like, there's no way I flopped them and they were able to fit. Because everything torqued down, the cams moved and everything, alright? So I was like, I'm not going to go through my footage. I don't need to. Like, I know I did it right. And then I was thinking last night, I was like, even if the cam gear is mispositioned and, like, sucked into where I had it last time, it would still start. It would just sound like shit. So then I was like, oh, let me go through every video I recorded, see where I fucked up. Came across that.
The sensor's smart.
Uh-huh. A whole different level of stupidity. I would have been pissed because I would have taken the timing, retimed it, and I would have just kept having the same issue. I would have replaced every sensor, the engine harness, everything, and I would have still had this. That's the good thing about recording all this shit, though.
Yeah. Well, bud, there's your problem, you fucking idiot.
With that being said, that is going to end today's video. I know today's video was extremely short. I was supposed to have the STI over at Devon's shop by now, but unfortunately it was not able to happen, and I went through all of this footage trying to figure out what was going on because I knew that the cam gear is not the issue. It made sense when I first was talking about it, but after sitting on it for a while, it makes zero sense. But anyway, with that being said, that is going to end today's video. I hope you guys learned something, or at least can maybe laugh on my behalf of how stupid this was. But regardless, that is going to end today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.